What if I told you that the very truths you've been avoiding, the realities you've been denying, the harsh facts about life that make you uncomfortable, are actually the keys to becoming completely unstoppable? Most people spend their entire lives running from uncomfortable truths, building elaborate fantasies and comfort zones that ultimately keep them weak, dependent, and perpetually disappointed. But what if facing these truths head-on could liberate you from illusion and give you the kind of unshakable strength that nothing can touch? Right now, as you're watching this, you're probably living under at least 3 major delusions about how life actually works. You're probably believing things that feel good but aren't true, avoiding conversations that need to happen, and making decisions based on how you wish the world worked rather than how it actually works. This isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to change it. Because every day you spend avoiding reality is another day you remain stoppable, controllable, and ultimately powerless. We live in a culture that profits from your delusions. Society sells you comfortable lies because comfortable people are predictable people, and predictable people are controllable people. You're told that you can have everything you want without sacrifice, that feelings should guide decisions, that other people are responsible for your happiness, that fairness should be expected, that success should come easily. But what if every single one of these beliefs is not just wrong, but actively making you weaker? The ancient Stoics understood something that modern culture desperately wants you to forget. They knew that strength comes not from avoiding harsh realities, but from facing them completely. Marcus Aurelius, who had every reason to believe in comfortable illusions as the most powerful man in the world, chose instead to confront the hardest truths about existence. He wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." He wasn't talking about positive thinking. He was talking about thinking that aligns with reality, regardless of whether that reality is comfortable. Epictetus, who spent years as a slave, discovered that freedom isn't about changing your circumstances, it's about changing your relationship to circumstances. He taught that most human suffering comes from demanding that reality be different from what it is, from insisting that life conform to our preferences rather than learning to thrive within life's actual parameters. Seneca, despite having wealth and status, voluntarily exposed himself to hardship because he knew that comfort without truth leads to weakness, while truth without comfort leads to unshakable strength. These weren't just philosophical exercises. These were practical discoveries about how to become genuinely unstoppable. Because when you align yourself with reality instead of fighting it, when you base your decisions on truth instead of wishful thinking, when you build your strength on what's actually true rather than what feels good, you become a force that cannot be broken by circumstances, disappointment, or other people's actions. If you're serious about becoming truly unstoppable, if you're ready to trade comfortable lies for uncomfortable truths, if you recognize that the strength you're looking for can only be built on a foundation of absolute honesty about how life actually works, then like this video right now. Don't skip any part because each truth builds on the previous one, and avoiding even one could mean the difference between breakthrough and staying exactly where you are. Drop a comment when you recognize the lie you've been telling yourself that's been keeping you weak, and share this with someone who you know is ready to stop living in fantasy and start building real strength. The first harsh truth that will begin your liberation is this: no one is coming to save you. This might be the most difficult truth for people to accept because it completely destroys the victim narrative that keeps so many people stuck. Right now, you might be waiting for the right person to enter your life and solve your problems. You might be hoping for circumstances to change so that success becomes easier. You might be expecting other people to recognize your potential and create opportunities for you. You might be looking for someone to give you permission, validation, or the motivation you need to pursue your goals. But here's the reality that will either devastate you or liberate you. You are completely responsible for your own life, your own success, your own happiness, and your own growth. No one else is thinking about your problems as much as you are. No one else cares about your dreams as much as you do. No one else is going to prioritize your life over their own. This isn't because people are selfish or cruel. It's because everyone is dealing with their own challenges, pursuing their own goals, and solving their own problems. Marcus Aurelius understood this completely. Despite being surrounded by advisors, servants, and supporters, he knew that his character, his decisions, and his response to circumstances were entirely his responsibility. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." He wasn't talking about mindfulness for relaxation. He was talking about taking complete ownership of this moment, this choice, this action, because this moment is all you actually control. Think about how this applies to your current situation. If you're waiting for your boss to recognize your value, you're giving away your power. If you're hoping for your family to support your dreams, you're making your success dependent on other people's approval. If you're expecting the economy, the government, or society to create the conditions for your success, you're essentially saying that your life is not in your hands. The practical application starts immediately. Stop waiting for permission and start taking action. Stop hoping for circumstances to improve and start improving your response to current circumstances. Stop looking for someone to believe in you and start proving to yourself that you can be trusted with your own dreams. Every day that you take complete responsibility for your life is a day that you become more unstoppable. The second truth will fundamentally change your relationship with difficulty. Life is supposed to be hard. Most people spend enormous energy trying to make life easier, more comfortable, more predictable. They see obstacles as problems to be avoided rather than challenges to be embraced. They interpret difficulty as evidence that something is wrong rather than recognizing that difficulty is exactly how strength is built. But consider this. Every single thing you're proud of in your life came through some form of difficulty. Every skill you've developed required practice that was initially uncomfortable. Every relationship you value went through periods of challenge and growth. Every achievement you've accomplished required effort that felt hard at the time. The difficulty wasn't a bug in the system, it was a feature. Epictetus taught his students that obstacles aren't interruptions to their path, obstacles are their path. He understood that the universe isn't designed to make you comfortable, it's designed to make you strong. Every challenge you face is perfectly calibrated to develop exactly the type of strength you need for your next level of growth. The financial pressure isn't just bad luck. It's training for resourcefulness and creativity. The difficult relationship isn't just drama, it's training for communication and emotional regulation. The professional setback isn't just disappointment, it's training for resilience and adaptability. This completely reframes how you approach difficulty. Instead of asking, "Why is this so hard?" you start asking, "What strength is this building?" Instead of trying to avoid challenges, you start recognizing that challenges are how you become the person capable of handling bigger challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as evidence that you're on the wrong path, you start seeing obstacles as confirmation that you're exactly where you need to be to grow. The practical implementation is life-changing. Stop trying to make everything easier and start getting better at handling difficulty. Stop avoiding challenges and start seeking the growth that only comes through challenge. Stop complaining about how hard things are and start appreciating that hard things are what make you stronger. This shift in perspective alone will make you significantly more unstoppable. The third truth will liberate you from one of the most destructive expectations. No one owes you anything. This truth destroys the entitlement mindset that keeps people weak and resentful. Right now, you might be angry that people don't treat you the way you treat them. You might be frustrated that your efforts aren't being rewarded the way you expected. You might be disappointed that the world doesn't recognize your value or appreciate your contributions. But here's the harsh reality. Fairness is not a law of the universe. It's a human concept that we try to impose on a reality that operates by different principles. The world doesn't owe you success because you work hard. Other people don't owe you kindness because you're kind to them. Life doesn't owe you happiness because you follow the rules. Companies don't owe you job security because you're loyal. Friends don't owe you support because you've supported them. Seneca understood this completely. Despite his wealth and position, he knew that everything he had could be taken away at any moment, and that expecting life to be fair would only lead to suffering. He practiced negative visualization, imagining the loss of everything important to him, not to create anxiety, but to develop gratitude for what he had and strength to handle whatever might come. When you truly internalize this truth, something extraordinary happens. You stop wasting energy on resentment about how things should be and start directing that energy toward making things how you want them to be. You stop expecting other people to make you happy and start taking responsibility for your own happiness. You stop demanding that life be fair and start learning to thrive in an unfair world. This doesn't mean becoming cynical or giving up on justice. It means recognizing that your strength and success cannot depend on other people doing what they should do. Your power must come from what you choose to do regardless of what others choose to do. Your happiness must come from your own actions and attitudes, not from other people's behavior toward you. The fourth truth will transform how you handle criticism and judgment. Most people's opinions don't matter. Right now, you're probably making decisions based on what other people might think. You're probably avoiding risks because you're afraid of being judged. You're probably compromising your authentic desires because you want to meet other people's expectations. You're probably spending mental energy worrying about people who aren't thinking about you at all. But here's the reality that will either sting or set you free. Most people are too busy dealing with their own lives to spend much time thinking about yours. The people whose opinions you're worried about are worried about other people's opinions of them. The criticism you're afraid of receiving is often coming from people who aren't doing anything worthy of criticism themselves. The judgment you're trying to avoid is frequently from people whose judgment shouldn't matter to you anyway. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most scrutinized person in his empire, wrote, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself." He understood that seeking external validation is a form of slavery, while deriving confidence from your own standards is a form of freedom. Consider how much of your life force you're wasting on people whose opinions don't actually impact your life. You're stressed about what colleagues think about your presentation, but their thoughts don't determine your career success. You're worried about what family members think about your life choices, but they're not living with the consequences of those choices. You're concerned about what strangers think about your appearance, but you'll never see most of these people again. The practical application requires daily courage. Make decisions based on your values rather than other people's expectations. Take risks that align with your goals rather than avoiding risks that might invite criticism. Express your authentic thoughts and feelings rather than saying what you think people want to hear. Live according to your own standards rather than trying to meet everyone else's standards. The fifth truth will revolutionize your relationship with failure. You will fail more than you succeed. This might be the hardest truth for achievement-oriented people to accept. Society teaches us that failure is the opposite of success, that failing means you're doing something wrong, that successful people fail less than unsuccessful people. But the reality is exactly the opposite. Successful people fail more than unsuccessful people because they attempt more than unsuccessful people. Every entrepreneur has more failed business ideas than successful ones. Every athlete has more losses than wins during their development. Every writer has more rejected manuscripts than published ones. Every innovator has more experiments that don't work than breakthroughs that do. Epictetus taught that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the raw material of success. Every failure contains information about what doesn't work, which brings you closer to discovering what does work. Every setback reveals weaknesses that need to be strengthened. Every mistake teaches lessons that can't be learned any other way. The difference between people who become unstoppable and people who remain stuck isn't that unstoppable people fail less. It's that they have a completely different relationship with failure. They expect it, learn from it, and use it as fuel for improvement rather than evidence of inadequacy. This reframe changes everything about how you approach goals. Instead of trying to avoid failure, you start seeing failure as necessary data collection. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, you start being curious about what they can teach you. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof that you're not capable, you start seeing mistakes as proof that you're pushing beyond your current capabilities. The sixth truth will free you from perfectionism. Good enough is often perfect. Most people never start important projects because they're waiting until they can do them perfectly. They never share their ideas because they haven't perfected every detail. They never take action because they don't have complete information. They never begin because they're afraid of not being ready. But here's what perfectionism actually is. It's fear disguised as high standards. It's a way of avoiding the vulnerability of putting imperfect work into the world. It's a strategy for avoiding criticism by never finishing anything that can be criticized. It's procrastination dressed up as quality control. Seneca understood that perfection is the enemy of progress. He knew that taking action with incomplete information is almost always better than waiting for complete information that may never come. He wrote, "It is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the one who hangs on for more." He was talking about more than money. He was talking about the tendency to delay action while waiting for perfect conditions. The most successful people in any field share one common trait. They're willing to put imperfect work into the world and improve it based on feedback. They launch products before they're perfect and refine them based on customer response. They start businesses with incomplete business plans and adjust based on market reality. They share ideas before they're fully formed and develop them through conversation and collaboration. This doesn't mean accepting mediocrity or abandoning quality standards. It means recognizing that perfection is often the enemy of progress, and that good enough to start is infinitely better than perfect but never begun. You can always improve something that exists. You can't improve something that remains an idea in your head. The seventh truth will change how you think about time. You don't have forever. Most people live as if they have unlimited time. They postpone important conversations, delay pursuing their dreams, and assume they'll handle crucial life changes sometime in the future. They waste years on relationships that aren't working, careers that don't fulfill them, and habits that undermine their potential. But here's the mathematical reality. If you're 30 years old, you have approximately 2,500 weekends left in your life. If you're 40, you have about 2,000. If you're 50, you have roughly 1,500. These numbers aren't meant to create anxiety. They're meant to create urgency about living intentionally rather than accidentally. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of mortality, not to become morbid, but to prioritize what actually mattered. He wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." He understood that awareness of life's brevity leads to clarity about life's priorities. Think about how this applies to your current situation. How long have you been saying you'll start that business, write that book, have that conversation, make that change? How many more years are you willing to spend in situations that don't align with who you want to become? How much longer will you delay taking action on things that matter to you? The practical application requires immediate action. Stop treating time as if it's unlimited and start treating it as the precious, finite resource it actually is. Make decisions based on how you want to spend your remaining years, not just how you want to spend today. Have the conversations that need to happen. Start the projects that excite you. Make the changes that will compound over time. The eighth truth will liberate you from external dependency. Your happiness is your responsibility. Most people make their happiness dependent on external circumstances. They'll be happy when they get the promotion, find the right relationship, achieve financial security, or when other people treat them better. But this strategy guarantees unhappiness because it puts your emotional state under other people's control. Epictetus, who had every reason to be unhappy as a slave, discovered that happiness isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you choose to interpret and respond to what happens to you. He taught that you can't control what other people do, but you can control what you think about what they do. You can't control external events, but you can control your response to external events. This doesn't mean pretending that difficult circumstances don't affect you. It means recognizing that your long-term happiness must come from internal sources that can't be taken away by external changes. Your sense of worth must come from your character and actions, not from other people's opinions. Your peace must come from accepting what you cannot control, not from controlling what you cannot accept. The practical implementation starts with taking responsibility for your emotional state. Instead of saying, "He made me angry," say, "I chose to feel angry about his behavior." Instead of, "This situation is making me unhappy," say, "I'm allowing this situation to affect my happiness." This shift in language reflects a shift in power from external to internal. The ninth truth will transform your relationship with comfort. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Most people organize their lives around avoiding discomfort. They choose careers that feel safe rather than careers that challenge them. They stay in relationships that are comfortable rather than relationships that help them grow. They maintain habits that feel easy rather than habits that make them stronger. But here's what comfort actually does. It stops growth. Every muscle in your body grows only when it's challenged beyond its current capacity. Every skill develops only when you practice at the edge of your current ability. Every aspect of your character strengthens only when you choose difficulty over ease. Seneca deliberately exposed himself to discomfort, not because he enjoyed suffering, but because he understood that voluntary discomfort builds the strength to handle involuntary discomfort. He would eat simple food, wear basic clothing, and sleep on hard surfaces to prove to himself that his happiness didn't depend on luxury. Modern neuroscience confirms what the Stoics understood intuitively. Your brain literally rewires itself based on the challenges you regularly face. When you consistently choose comfort, you're training your brain to avoid difficulty. When you consistently choose challenge, you're training your brain to seek growth. The practical application requires daily choices. Choose the difficult conversation over avoiding conflict. Choose the challenging workout over the easy one. Choose the skill that stretches you over the skill you've already mastered. Choose the risk that could lead to growth over the safety that guarantees stagnation. The 10th and final truth synthesizes everything. You are stronger than you think, but weaker than you pretend. Most people simultaneously underestimate their capacity to handle difficulty and overestimate their current level of strength. They avoid challenges they could handle because they underestimate their resilience, while they fail to prepare for challenges because they overestimate their readiness. Marcus Aurelius understood this paradox completely. He regularly reminded himself of his own mortality and limitations, while also affirming his capacity to handle whatever circumstances arose. He wrote, "You can endure anything your mind can make endurable by representing it to yourself as your interest to do so. The truth is that you have far more capacity for growth, change, and resilience than you currently believe. You can handle much more difficulty than you think you can. You can learn much faster than you expect. You can change much more dramatically than you imagine. But you're probably not as strong right now as you pretend to be. You probably have more work to do than you want to admit. You probably need more preparation than you think you do." This final truth requires both humility and confidence. Humility about where you currently are, and confidence about where you can go. Honesty about your current limitations, and belief in your capacity to transcend those limitations. Acceptance of your current weaknesses, and commitment to building real strength. These 10 harsh truths work together to create a foundation of reality-based strength that nothing can shake. When you stop running from uncomfortable truths and start building your life on what's actually true, rather than what feels good, you become genuinely unstoppable. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because you can handle whatever hurts you. Not because you'll never fail, but because you'll use failure as fuel for growth. Not because life will become easy, but because you'll become strong enough to thrive in difficulty. The choice is entirely yours. You can continue living in comfortable delusions that keep you weak, dependent, and ultimately stoppable. Or you can face these harsh truths head-on and use them to build the kind of strength that makes you genuinely unstoppable. You can keep avoiding reality and remain at the mercy of circumstances, or you can align yourself with reality and become the master of your response to any circumstance. If this message resonated with you, if something inside you recognized the truth in these harsh realities, if you're ready to stop living in fantasy and start building real strength, then like this video right now and comment below with the truth that hit you hardest. Share this with someone who you know is ready to face reality and build genuine strength. Subscribe to join our community of people who choose difficult truths over comfortable lies. Remember, the truth will set you free, but first, it will probably make you uncomfortable. That discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is finally becoming right.